Hey there, entrepreneurs. My name is Sushant, and welcome to TrepTalks. This is a show where I interview successful e-commerce entrepreneurs, business executives, and thought leaders, and ask them questions about their business story, and also dive deep into some of the strategies and tactics that they have used to start and grow their businesses. And today, I'm really excited to welcome David Restiano to the show. David is the founder of SOAR and the inventor of Sorsoap. Sorsoap creates muscle scraping soap that can be used in the shower, and SOAR Tool Pro that can be used anywhere. Sorsoap is the world's first patented physical therapy tool that cleans. And today I'm going to ask David a few questions about his entrepreneurial journey and some of the strategies and tactics that he has used to start and grow his business. Now, before we dive into this interview, if you enjoy this kind of content, please make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. And for more content like this, please visit our website, treptalks.com. And with that, David, welcome. And thank you so much again for joining me at Trep Talks. Really, really appreciate your time. Oh, you muted yourself. Still muted, still muted.
Okay. For some reason, I was muted before.
Awesome,
I
awesome.
apologize about that.
No worries, no worries.
Okay.
So welcome to the show. Really appreciate your time today.
Well, I'm really excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
So very, very interesting tool. I mean, I'm not very aware, familiar with the physical therapy world. So maybe you can share a little bit about, how did you come up with this idea and what kind of problem is this product solving?
Of course. So, like you, we all went through COVID a few years ago, obviously, and a lot of things stopped and a lot of things changed. I play soccer or football, as you would, most of the world calls it football. I play a lot of men's league football, and that got shut down during COVID. So I started to run more. I started to do some long distance running, and my hip flexor started to hurt. Part of my body started to get real sore after my runs. And one day I got in the shower and I grabbed a bar of regular bar soap and I started to scrape my hip flexor with that bar soap, and it felt great. And it
Hmm.
started to really make my hip flexor feel better. And I immediately thought, why can't we make a tool like a muscle scraper, like that a physical therapist or a clinician would use, out of really high quality soap with some analgesic ingredients in it, and put a handle on it, and give it a way to hang up in the back of your shower and keep it dry and hard. And uh, almost instantaneously, this product came to my mind, and I jumped out of the shower. I started sketching ideas. I did the trademark and the logo, and that was the day that Sorsoap was born.
So
So
this
it
is
really just came
literally,
out of
so this is literally a soap, but you've designed it in a certain way so people can hold it and basically scrape their muscles.
exactly. You've got it 100% right on the money. It's a real high quality hand stamped soap that we formulated to be harder. That has treatment edges. So it has a beveled edge and a 90-degree edge. The beveled edge we use on parts of our body that might be really sore, like an injury, a sprain or a strain. And then for maximum effect, we use the 90-degree edge, and it wears away very evenly. We've engineered it to wear away. We store it on a suction cup holder, and it's a fun, effective way to treat yourself in the shower and help increase blood flow, help with lymphatic drainage, all things that I'm sure you're aware of. In the last 10 or 15 years, these modalities have become more and more mainstream, and their effectiveness has been proven. We actually have a clinical trial that we published, and it's peer reviewed. We had some great results from it, and we have a patent on the product. So it really started as a silly idea that I thought could work, and it's really turned into an effective way for athletes and non-athletes all across the world to help kickstart their recovery and help themselves feel better.
So it's almost, is it kind of mimicking the effect of a massage? So in a massage, we are basically creating a gliding surface with a some sort
Yep.
of an oil, and with the soap, of course, it creates some sort of a gliding surface. And at the same time, like, is there an effect of like, when you're showering, you have a warm water, and that's kind of creating a little bit of a
Yep.
warmth as well?
Totally. It's a combined effect of all those things. The hardness of the bar. There's a concept in the massage and physical therapy world called IASTM. It's instrument assisted soft tissue mobilization. So If you think of a metal tool that a physical therapist might use to scrape your leg or your calf, that's the instrument. And the soft tissue mobilization is the part where we're mobilizing fascia and soft tissue. So you hit the nail on the head, Sushant. The oils and the emollient, if you will, is built right into this product. So you get in the shower, the ingredients are all natural. They create an aromatherapeutic environment. A shower is a naturally, relaxing place to begin with. We're taking it to the next level where you can actually, you know, affect your relaxation and recovery a little bit more than you would without the bar. So it's really a nice way to add another element to your recovery routine. And then, as we could probably talk about later, we realized that there was a hole in the market for do-it-yourself tools. So in the shower, outside the shower, you can take this on a run, you can take it to the gym. And this is a product that we developed after we had established the fact that people really embraced the do-it-yourself, recovery process that we started to really introduce to the world. So it's been exciting.
And how did you kind of introduce this product to, I don't know, your clients or people, in general? And was there any, how do you kind of sell it or explain it? And what
Sure.
and were there like, yes, wow, this looks like a great tool that I can use, and I'm willing to pay you something. Like, what was that validation process?
Sure. So like all entrepreneurs, all people who start businesses with products, we went through a minimum. We tried to prove that MVP stage. Do we have a minimum viable product? We did a lot of research. We did some testing. We made our own prototypes, and then we just started to give them away. We started to call athletes. I had some connections in the soccer world. I started to get it in the hands of amateur soccer players, high school soccer players, college athletes, professional players in the United States, professional players overseas, some players in the Premier League in England. We just gave it to as many people as we could. And then we started to realize that it wasn't just for athletes. We thought we were going to build a vertical market based on athletes. And that was what we were geared to do. And then we started to see people who identified as non-athletes started to buy the product. So, we quickly pivoted and we started to change our marketing strategy, and we started to embrace all people, not just, the way we were speaking was not just for athletes anymore. It was for people who were interested in self-care, yoga practitioners, people that don't do anything really, that other than just work hard and come home sore at the end of the day. We realized that people were really enjoying this after work, or after, a run, or after a golf game. It varied so far across the board, Sushant, that it was hard to niche down for us. So we just took a different approach to things, and we just started to be inclusive for everybody. And it's really paid off, especially since appearing on Shark Tank, which was the ultimate way to appeal to, everybody across the world, which was very, very exciting.
Yeah, and definitely want to learn more about your Shark Tank experience. But I guess, one of the good things about this also is that people don't have to create extra time to do this routine, right?
Yep.
If somebody's in the shower and they have this there, I mean, they're soaping their skin, and at the same time, they're
Yep.
also doing some sort of a physical therapy. Um,
Yep.
at what point did you, so you created some products. I mean, I definitely want to know where you're having these products manufactured, but before we go there, at
Yep.
what point did you create like an e-commerce site? Were you selling in person? How did you make your first sale?
We made our first sale online. I've been a graphic designer for a long time, so I was able to build a website, build the logo, I had some people that I knew who could help me take photography, take some really nice product shots. So, we took the conventional route. We worked with an off the shelf product at first, and we just built a WooCommerce. For people who are familiar with online sales, we built a WooCommerce backend. And it was great. It worked. We made some sales for the first year. It was slow growth, but we did a respectable amount of sales, right? And then we realized quickly that we needed a more elegant solution. So we switched to Shopify. We created a more robust backend for an e-commerce site, and that's when we started to see sales and repeat customers start to really help us grow, which was exciting. So this was in year one. I would say we did a nominal amount of sales. It was enough to not be a hobby, but it wasn't enough to really say, okay, we've got something here. We can quit our full-time jobs. You know, it was good. It gave us hope for the future. And then the
Mm,
next year we doubled that sales. And so
mm.
each year after year, we doubled and doubled and doubled. And that brings us up to, last year, which was a very pivotal year for us. And I'm sure we'll get into that. We'll get into that later. But it was the natural progression of things. Um, I honestly thought, if I'm being totally transparent, I thought coming up with this idea, it was going to be $1 million idea right off the bat. Like a lot of entrepreneurs, you get so excited about what you're doing and what you've uncovered and what you've created. But it wasn't like that. It didn't catch fire immediately. It wasn't lightning in a bottle. We really had to grow at it. We really had to grind. So that was something that I learned, quickly on this entrepreneurial journey, that it wasn't just a home run right off the bat. There's so much work that had to go into every sale and every event and every, big wholesale purchase. But each one meant something. When you have to work hard for something, the value is not lost. You don't take it for granted, and it really meant a lot. Every time we get a gym to buy 100 bars or 200 bars, or an occupational therapy or physical therapist, it felt like a big win for us.
Yeah, no, that's great. And I think it's a combination of, this product kind of makes sense. Everybody has muscles and people get sore. Not everybody stretches their muscles on a regular basis.
Yep.
And so if anybody is having, I guess, muscle pains and things like that, and they go to a physical therapist, they can definitely recommend this, and it makes sense.
Yep.
Um, and I think, it also makes a good product to be on the shelves, like in drugstores and things like this. So I think from a product point of view, I think it makes sense. I think it's really about how you basically get it in front of people, distribution and market it, and so people can buy it.
Exactly.
I want to learn more about that, but can you talk a little bit about your manufacturing? Where are you getting this manufacture? Um,
Sure.
and yeah, what is the process like? I mean, it seems like a simple product, it's a soap.
Yeah, right. You'd think it would be real simple. The only difference is the hole in the middle, the handle that we built our patent around that aperture, right? That opening allows people to hold it differently and to gain leverage. But also, the most important part of that aperture is the fact that you can hang it up and allow it to dry and reharden. So that's what differentiates us from regular bars of soap. There's a lot of great soap on the market, but ours you can hang up in the back of your shower, you can hold it, and when you hang it up in the back of your shower, it gives the soap the ability to reharden, recure, and stay germ free after and before each time you use it. So that was the blessing and the curse for us. It was what made us different than every other bar of soap on the market, but it's also what made it a little harder for us to find a manufacturing partner. So quickly to tell you that story, I went through all the conventional. I live in New Jersey on the East Coast of the United States. There's a lot of soap industry in the Northeast of the United States because of the history of the whaling in New England. So the whale oil was used to make the soap. So for that reason, there's a lot of old um, conventional soap manufacturers in New England, in Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Vermont, Rhode Island. So I naturally called them first. And they were interested in the idea. They thought it was novel and they were interested, but they'd have to retrofit some of their equipment to make this correctly with the hole. And they wanted to make runs of over 20,000 bars each, which at the point in our life cycle, it was too expensive for us. And we didn't have the capital to take that risk at that point. So my mother always told me, treat people the way you want to be treated. So I had all these great conversations with all these, product developers from the Northeast, and none of them could help me. But through the conversations and the emails and the rapport that we built, they referred me to a company in Omaha, Nebraska, in the middle of the United States, not known for its soap, more known for its, beef and, other industry, but not soap. And I was referred to a company in Omaha, and they were willing to take a chance with us and let us do smaller production runs, which was really helpful to our bottom line. And we've been with the Omaha Soap Company for the life of our company so far. So it was really a nice way to realize, like, that word of mouth goes a long way in every industry. You treat people nicely and they're more willing to stick their neck out and refer you to one of their partners or one of their associates. So we were very lucky to find Omaha Soap Company,
Well, that's
and that's
very
where they make it.
interesting. No, that's really
Yeah.
great. I mean, is there, I mean, I am on your website and I see that, I mean, I'm in Canada, so I see the prices in Canadian
Yep.
dollars. It's $17. Of course,
Yep.
it's not just a soap, it's kind of a therapeutic device. So I guess, that justifies the cost. But I guess
Is it for 17 Canadian dollars for two or for one bar?
for it
I'm not
says
sure what the conversion
one,
rate is
yeah,
for
it's for
one
the
bar.
one. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it's about 12 to $13 in American currency.
yeah. So I'm
Yep.
assuming that because you are having this manufactured at a reputable manufacturer in the US, that probably there is a cost to that. I mean, if you went to, let's say, China or somewhere else that can still produce it at a lower cost, I guess that would probably affect the cost. But I'm sure having it manufactured in the US probably gives you more control over quality and a lot of other things as well.
Yep. We import a lot of our essential oils from India. So we're sourcing high quality materials. That's one factor that you know goes into the cost. Also, it's partially hand stamped, so it's not fully automated. There's actually a team of workers in Omaha, Nebraska, on the factory floor that has to take the billet, which they call it's this long line of rectangular soap, and then it gets cut automatically. But then they have to take it by hand and put it on a machine and actually use a drill press to stamp our shape, and then they peel the soap away. So there's a lot of hands-on. It's not a fully automated process. It's hand stamped, it's hand trimmed, and then it's hand packaged, which is it's expensive. So we've created a high quality soap with high quality, responsibly and sustainably sourced essential oils that's handmade. So that's what's driving that higher cost and the higher price. We're actively trying to lower our costs because obviously the lower our costs, the lower the price, the more customers, less barrier to entry. It's definitely something we're working on, but it's difficult, especially in this economy right now.
Now you did mention that your product has just been patented in the US. Can you talk a little bit
Yep.
about of course, from a patent perspective, you're protecting your design, and can you talk a little bit about your patent, and have you seen any other competitors come up with like a similar idea of a product?
Yeah, there are a few on the market. There are actually a few massage soaps that some major companies like Unilever and Colgate-Palmolive make, but they're different. It's a bar. You may have seen it. It's a bar that you can hold in your hand, and it has nubbies on the bottom. Like little projections. And that's great. It feels wonderful. It's good soap, but it's mass produced. It doesn't have the same quality of ingredients that we have, and it's just a different concept. It's a different approach. Like we wanted to make something that was more of a blade muscle scraper, and the way ours is engineered to wear away, it wears away very evenly when you use the holder. So that to answer your question, that's really what we wrote our patent around. It's the fact that we wanted something to be able to be hung up, to be dried, to stay germ free, to stay elevated on the wall, but also to have that aperture in it to allow you to hold it in different ways and really scrape your muscles and not just rub the soap on your muscles. So that's really the way we constructed our patent to protect our idea. So there are a few other competitors out there, but none have the exact same shape. None have the treatment edges with we have this trigger point, and then we have two treatment edges. So we're protected from that point of view. So really nobody can copy our idea from the aperture and the treatment edges perspective. But the soap industry, there's a lot of different ways they can make soap and shape soap. Could probably, we'll see. There's enough. The good thing is, Sushant, there's enough sort of people who shower every day that are interested in this modality that even if there are some more competitors that enter the marketplace, I think there's enough soreness to go around for all of us.
For sure, for sure. So in terms of your target market, are you to me, it seems like maybe, this you will probably benefit more by targeting B2B, like wholesales, retail stores, therapists who can recommend it to customers and so forth. Um, what is your kind of distribution of B2B versus B2C right now? Are you selling more to, businesses um, versus like direct to consumer? And like, what is kind of your strategy in terms of growing, scaling this business?
Sure. As far as strategy, wholesaling is a big part of our strategy, but the way it's worked out is that I would say 95%, maybe 92 to 95% of our sales are direct to consumer.
Hmm.
So I think it's because of our marketing. You know, we do a lot of social media, a lot of micro influencer marketing on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, and it just resonates with people because we're very transparent about our marketing. This this helps people feel better. Period. It doesn't cure a sprained knee. It doesn't fix certain ailments. But it can help you treat yourself in a way that you can really naturally mitigate a lot of soreness in your life. We've had customers write testimonials to me in email and text about how it's cured their shin splints and it's been able to afford them the ability to run again. One person jumped on a TikTok live, right? Which we have a lot of followers on TikTok, and that helped our growth. And during one of our TikTok lives, I thought he was playing a trick on me. He said, "Sorsoap helped me lose 45 pounds." And I said, "Come on, Sorsoap doesn't help you lose weight." He said, "No, it helped me lose 45 pounds." So I pressed him on it, and I said, "Well, explain how." And I still thought he was, trying to play a trick on me. And he said, "I had shin splints for the last 2 years. I couldn't run. I gained weight. By using your product for 2 or 3 weeks, it's helped me to lessen that pain from the shin splints, and I've been able to run again." And after a few months, he was able to lose a lot of that weight that he gained. And that kind of stuff has happened hundreds of times in different ways. Whether it's a stroke victim who's been able to grip the bar because it has a handle and he's been able to wash himself, or some people say it's given me my mobility back in my legs from X, Y, or Z issues. We never make claims that it's going to help in medical instances because it's just not the way we approach things. But we do stand behind our product, and we will 100% guarantee it that in many cases, and most cases of just post workout soreness and soreness associated with shin splints or minor sprains or strains, that this modality will help. And Sorsoap is one of the easiest ways to incorporate it in your daily routine because, like you said before, it doesn't include any additional time. In fact, it's probably saving time. Runner's World magazine in the United States, I know it has distribution in Canada. They reviewed Sorsoap a few years ago, and they had a great quote. They said, no matter how tired or dirty or sore you are after a workout, you might skip a foam rolling session. You might not go to a massage therapist, but you're never going to skip a shower. And that's where they saw the whole essence of this product is. No matter, after work today or after you go for your 5K run, you might not stretch, you might not foam roll or use your massage gun, but you're definitely going to take a shower. I would almost be willing to bet $100 that you're going to take a shower after that run. So we're trying to show people the efficiency that you can achieve in your daily routine just by adding Sorsoap. It's really worked out well for us.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely makes sense. It kind of integrates into people's daily routine. And I mean, they probably don't even have to do every day. It's like if they're not feeling very well when they're showering, they can just
Yep.
do a few rolls, I guess. Um,
Yep.
it's very interesting. I mean, you said your 95% of your business is B2C, because I would have thought that, I mean, are you trying to get into bigger retail stores or health store kind of chains?
Yes, we're working on the creative solution to um, the inherent problem for us in a retail space is this takes a little bit of explanation for many people. Not
Hmm.
everybody is going to walk by the soap shelf, and if we put it in the soap shelf category, right? If we put it with other soap, people might just say, "Oh, that's just purple soap,"
Hmm.
because not everybody understands what instrument-assisted soft tissue mobilization or gua sha or muscle scraping is. So, do we put it with the massage products? Do we put it with the recovery products, or do we put it with soap? I'm inclined to put it with soap. Well, actually, I'm changing my mind as I said. it could go in either category. But the thing that needs to be done before we get into retail, and that's what we're working on now, is an instructional packaging design solution needs to be fully fleshed out. It's something that I've been working on over the last few months. But a 2-pack with a holder needs to be presented in a way that when you walk by it in either the soap aisle or the recovery aisle, you can understand what makes it different. Oh, it's something that will wash me and I can scrape my muscles with. And it has to be clear right from the first 2 or 3 seconds, because you only have a split second to catch a consumer's eye and to tell your story and to show people the efficacy of your product. So it's something that we feel confident that we can design around. It's just it hasn't been priority number one because we've been doing such great sales D2C. So in the next year, we should be in big box stores. We're hoping to get into stores like Dick's Sporting Goods, Target, Whole Foods, Walgreens, those types of chains. We really think we will resonate with those crowds.
And then that kind of brings me to my next question. Your Shark Tank appearance, and I'm assuming, I believe you're a Mark Cuban company now.
Yes, we are.
Maybe their team is helping you try to kind of get into retail stores and things like this. Can you talk a little bit about your Shark Tank experience? How do you kind of get that opportunity, and what was the impact of that on your business?
Sure. You see, my smile got bigger when you started to talk about Shark Tank. I'm an optimistic, happy guy to begin with. I've been smiling the whole interview, but when you talk about Shark Tank, it was such an amazing experience, right? It's Dragon's Den, Shark Tank, whatever the show by, wherever you are in the world. I know you have a global audience. It's an amazing opportunity for an entrepreneur to not only tell the world about their idea, but feel legitimized at the same time. To me, Shark Tank was the brass ring that I was hoping that one day I could grab. I never thought it was a fait accompli. I never thought, well, this is something we'll definitely get to do, because it's not. It's such a rare occasion for a small business to make it through the casting process, or be asked to be on the show, as we were. So, let you in on a little secret. We were asked by our producer to be on the show. He saw us on social media, on TikTok. He saw an interaction between myself and an athlete who is a world-renowned ultra marathoner, and it kind of stood out to him. He liked the way I interacted with this customer. I didn't suggest my product at all. I suggested a competitor's product because it was the right solution for this person's issue. And he noticed that, and then he started to dig into our social media. He started to watch more of our TikToks and more of our Instagram stuff, and he liked what he saw. And he reached out to me, and he asked me to be on the show. He asked my partner Dan and I to be on the show. I have a partner who's a physical therapist, Dr. Dan Stats. And if you watch the show, Dr. Dan knocked it out of the park, right? So I'm skipping some steps here, but we were asked to be on the show. We did a lot of work on our own. I'll fill in the blanks here. You have to write a script and you have to practice it. And obviously you see the final result when you watch the show. It was months and months of hard work and behind the scenes stuff. It was exciting, but nerve wracking at the same time. But I knew if we did it right, we would have a great opportunity to tell the world about SOAR and Sorsoap. So without telling too much about what makes Shark Tank great, the people involved in Shark Tank are wonderful. The sharks themselves, all the way down to the production crew and the interns and everybody associated with the production, were wonderful. So as you can imagine, we flew out to Los Angeles, and we were, nervous is an understatement. We knew this was a big opportunity. But once we got out there and once we started to feel comfortable in front of those sharks, and we just had a nice back and forth conversation, it gets edited down to 5 or 6 minutes of the clip that you see on the show, but so much more goes into it. And we were able to tell our story. We were able to effectively explain, all the things that made our customers love our product. And after every one of those sharks went out, there's 5 sharks on the stage, Sushant, and 1 went out, 2 went out. Lori Grenier and Barbara went out. Mr. Wonderful went out, and there was 1 shark left. And we looked over and we saw Mark Cuban scraping his neck with our SOAR Tool Pro. And I said to myself, as nervous as I was, I said, we might have a chance here because he looked happy. He looked comfortable. He looked like he was thinking about things. And when you watch the show, you'll see he stood up or he didn't stand up yet, but he sat back in his chair and he said, I'm going to give you guys a deal. And I exhaled and I realized, okay, we've done it here. We've made it. He said, I'm going to give you a deal because my neck feels great from scraping it with this Sorsoap Pro. So he stood up, he walked over to us, we shook hands. I mean, the guy is somebody who I've looked up to for years in the business world. He's a billionaire. He's a real stand-up guy. He's an honest, hardworking guy. And to shake his hand and realize that he was going to become part of my company, mine and Dan's company, it was a dream come true. So again, does that mean instant success? Does that mean it's a guaranteed home run, $1 million company? No, because even after we got Mark Cuban on board, the last 6 months to a year has been the same amount of hard work, the same amount of building community, the same, one sale at a time, one shower at a time is the approach I take. And it's a lot of customer service, and it's making people happy. It's turning one-time customers into lifetime customers. So yeah, it's been amazing. Being on Shark Tank was a dream come true. Having Mark Cuban as a business partner is a dream come true for Dan and I. He comes with such an amazing team too, and I think you started to allude to that. He's got some of the greatest business minds on his team, men and women from all sorts of backgrounds, from marketing to digital advertising to product development, and they're working with us to make this company scalable and something that's going to turn into, hopefully in the next few years, a household brand.
I know and I've asked this question to other, Shark Tank entrepreneurs as well. What kind of exposure you get to? I mean, they're working with so many people. Of course, they have other business priorities as well.
Sure.
How many times have you had the chance to connect with him? And what is kind of like, has he shared any advice with you, like his business advice, or, do this or do that?
Yeah, sure. So he's involved in so many different companies, some big, projects of his own. Obviously, he's still very involved with the NBA team that he owns, the Dallas Mavericks. He sold part of it, but he still owns a very significant portion. He's launched Cost Plus Drugs, which is, revamping the way, I know at least in America, revamping the way U.S. citizens can gain access to affordable pharmaceutical drugs and healthcare. He's really creating a legacy with some of the companies that he's working with now, bigger than just making money, bigger than capitalism. He's really using his power and leverage to make the world a better place. So that being said, he's obviously pulled in so many different directions. I can say this: every time I've emailed Mark Cuban, who's a busy man, he's involved in so many different things, he's gotten back in touch with me within an hour every time. Sometimes it's 5 minutes, sometimes it's 20 minutes, but he always responds. And that's what makes him successful. You don't become a billionaire by not doing the right things, by not doing the little things that make people love you and like you and trust you. And that's part of it. That it really impressed upon me the importance of, no matter how big or small you are, you just treat people the way you want to be treated. And he's iconic in a way, but he's also just like you and I. He'll respond to an email and he'll tell you what you need to know, and he'll break it down for you in a way that's usable and digestible. So working with Mark Cuban has been, it's been awesome. It's the first time I emailed him and he responded to me. I honestly, I went in and I said to my wife, I said, honey, he just responded within 5 minutes, and she was blown away too. But it just makes you realize that we're all the same people. I mean, he's very successful, but he's just a human being like you and I. It's really cool. It's really been a cool experience.
That's awesome. And did you prepare upfront on the airing of Shark Tank experience? Like, did you have like special inventory stocked up or something? And
Yes.
did the
Yeah, we
once the episode aired, like did you see a lot of incoming sales?
yes. They call it the Shark Tank effect, and it's a real thing. If you think about it from a commercial standpoint, millions and millions of people are watching that episode. And I can tell you that at the moment that we got the deal from Mark Cuban, I believe it was 8:42 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday, April 12th. I run the business on Shopify, and I can access our portal and our sales channels through my phone. And my phone just started to go crazy. The sales just started to pour in. And when I say pour in, it was making a sound like, if you're familiar with Shopify, it makes a cash register sound every time you make a sale. So it's that familiar cha-ching. I heard a noise like it was just cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. It just kept going and spinning. It was amazing. I mean, it really showed you the exponential power of the show, but also the idea. It resonated with people. It's a commodity. We all are sore, like you said before. We're all sore. We all shower. So it was instant confirmation that we were really, tapping into something visceral and a commodity that all people could identify with almost immediately. It was amazing, and it took weeks for that sales cycle to slow down. It was really an awesome display of the power of the show.
No, that's awesome. Now I want to shift topics a little bit. I know you're working with Mark Cuban's team. What is I know you have a partner, co-founder as well, that I see on the website. And do you have other team members in marketing operations that are helping you out with the business?
Nope. Well, I shouldn't say we don't have anybody helping us. We have an extended team of a few people that are really very influential in our business. One, his name is Brian. He's a 3D printer, a designer. He's a prototyper. He's a visionary genius. And I was lucky enough to stumble upon him. And he's become a very, very integral part of our team. Even though he wouldn't say that he's on the Sorsoap team, he really is integrated into everything we do. So he's a contractor that we work with for a lot of different things, prototyping, design ideas. I'm a designer, so I'll work up a concept and I'll hand it off to him, and he seamlessly, he's able to see the vision. He's created so many of our things. This little white piece that goes into the suction cup holder, he 3D printed that and designed that with with a little bit of help from me, with a little bit of work together. He was able to really create something that's integral to our product. He's the one who created the files and all the design for our tools. So many things, but we really have a small team. It's Dr. Dan and I. Dr. Dan does a lot of the behind the scenes business. He's like I would say he's the CFO and kind of like a shared COO role. And I'm the CEO, I'm the chief marketing officer, and we kind of share that operational duty. Mark's team consists of a lot of different people that are at our disposal, but they're not 100% working with us. They work on a lot of different things, but they're so good at what they do. They're always there for us, and we're always able to ramp up with a few key members of his team that are working with us constantly. So it's really a lean group. I think in the next year or so we will probably grow and hire some people into some full-time roles. But as of now, we're able to do what we need to do in a very lean fashion, which is nice.
Can you talk a little bit about your I guess, warehousing, fulfillment, shipping kind of strategy?
Sure.
How do you do that? Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So right now it's still me in my dining room. We get all the products shipped directly to my home. I unload the pallets. I bring them in. I store them in my garage in the cooler months. And once it goes over about 80 degrees, I carry all the boxes of soap into my dining room. My wife, if it didn't smell so good, my wife would probably be more upset with me that I've taken over the dining room. But the whole house smells like lavender, menthol, and chamomile. So it kind of eases her frustration with the fact that I run a soap business out of our dining room. But yeah, still, we're in the process of onboarding with a 3PL logistics company who's going to warehouse and pack and ship our products. But right now, it was the fiscally responsible thing to do was to keep that onus on me, and it's helped our bottom line, and it's also, more importantly, it's given me the opportunity to handle customer lifecycle and customer issues as they come up in real time. So I'm able to write a handwritten note in 80 to 90% of the packages. I'm able to address people by name. I'm able to handhold people if they're having difficulty with either the receiving of the product, or if there's any issues in shipping, or if there's any issues with quality. I'm able to instantly handle it. As we know, things like that happen all the time when you're doing a consumer goods product, based company. So I'm able to handle that stuff almost in real time, which is great. It gives me the feeling that I'm able to give people the best experience possible. So we found a company that can replicate that, and we're onboarding as we speak. But right now, still shipping, warehousing, and customer service is all taken care of in my house.
No, that's a beautiful house as also. I'm seeing on your, I see that you've done a really
Thank you.
good job on TikTok, and also Instagram is pretty decent also, but it seems like your TikTok is doing pretty decent. I mean, almost 80,000 followers, 2.9
Yep.
million likes, and it seems like you're kind of the main the main person marketing it. Can you talk a little bit about how your process of, I mean, it seems like you're creating some pretty creative videos on TikTok. What is your kind of creative process of doing this TikTok marketing?
Sure. So if we work backwards from today and the last year, back through the life cycle of the company, I didn't always feel comfortable being the face or the spokesperson of the company. I was okay doing it, but I have to tell you, through a lot of people who supported me, and a lot of people telling me like, "Hey, lean into the fact that you're a likable guy, you're a funny guy, you're realistic. I'm just an everyday 50-year-old athlete, right? I'm sore, less like you. I have kids, I have a dog, I have a wife. I go for runs, I get sweaty and dirty, and I use my product." I've really embraced that, and created, I guess I've created a persona on social media that is just me. I try to not put on airs. I try to be approachable. I'm genuine. I'm authentic, and I just show people how easy it is to treat themselves with our product. There's a lot of viral videos that we've created on TikTok that were just silly and funny, and I think if you embrace that part of your human nature, we all have that side. Whether we want to show it to the world through 1.8 million views on TikTok on some of these TikToks that really exploded, and it helped our business. It gave us the ability to go into the Shark Tank with some real respectable sales numbers. So TikTok is a very fun platform, but for us, it was a very powerful sales tool. We did over, I think, between $80,000 and $90,000 in sales in less than a calendar year just on TikTok alone. So when we went into Shark Tank and they started asking Dan about our sales numbers, TikTok represented a huge portion of it, and it gave us the respectability and reputation to really be able to stand behind some of those numbers. So as fun as it is for me to go on and make silly videos and make people laugh and educate them about, gua sha, that washes you, and saying all these fun things with audio and doing some silly things, it's really a powerful platform. TikTok and Instagram, if you're going to grow a business in 2024 and you're not on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook, you're missing out on a powerful platform. So it's been great.
I mean, the thing is, I talk to so many entrepreneurs, and it's kind of like some people get successful on TikTok. It's like, and others, it's like, it's just no matter how much they try, it never never takes off. I'm very curious, like, what is your process? I mean, do you create videos every day? Like, do you write down ideas? Do you watch other TikTok videos? Can you talk through your
Sure.
process of coming up with like new ideas?
I think it's a combination of, I would say if I had to break it down into categories, I probably have 3 different types of videos that I feel comfortable making. One is like a shorter version of just focused on the product. Like, people love the shape, people love the color, people love the idea, right? So sometimes I just let the Sorsoap be the star. I don't show my face, I don't talk. Maybe I'll use a viral audio clip, that obviously, we know that using the right audio sometimes is all you need to make something go viral. But just showing the product and letting that be the star, and doing it in a different way, maybe just focusing on one aspect of the product, whether it's the ingredients or the ease of use or the shape or, something like that. That's one bucket that I make. And then another bucket is the talking head video. I'll just get in front of the camera and tell a relatable story about how either the product helped me or helped somebody else, or maybe just a challenge of being a small business owner. Some of our viral videos on TikTok had nothing to do with the product. It was just about small business challenges or small business ideas that a lot of people could resonate with. I try to work the product into every video, obviously, because that's what the company's all about. It's about recovery. It's about this soap. It's about treating yourself. So I try to, like I said, weave it all together and tie it together neatly. And then some other content is just, a silly, something else that some other people have had great success with. I try to just apply it to our niche, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. If you've posted on TikTok or Instagram, you know that you could spend 2 or 3 hours making a video, use great production quality, use all the best fonts, use the best sound, and it could fall flat on its face and get 200 views.
Yeah.
Sometimes you hold the bar of soap up in your dining room and you put the right audio behind it and it gets 1.8 million views. So you just never know. The algorithm is a mystery. I've learned that you just got to keep grinding, plug away, be genuine, be authentic, be relatable. And, more often than not, it works.
Yeah, and that reminds me of the recent, I don't know if you're following this Olympics and Reagan person who did the
Yeah.
breakdown.
Yeah.
Forget about all the
Yeah.
people who worked so hard to get in the Olympics, and she's the one who gets so viral. So it's you can never
Right.
predict.
And
Yeah.
one other nope, you can never predict it. There was another media darling who came out of the Olympics. She was a U.S. women's rugby player. I played rugby. I played soccer in college, and then I played rugby for University of North Carolina after I graduated. And the rugby world has embraced this woman, Alona Mar. She's amazing. She went in, I think, before the Olympics, she had X amount of followers. Now, after the Olympics, because of how great she was, not only on the field, but off the field, such a great personality, so relatable, so human. She tripled her following on TikTok and Instagram. She's just amazing. If you haven't seen her, she's doing it right. She's doing it in a real approachable, humble way. She's an amazing athlete. She's so powerful and strong, but she's so funny and realistic and human. It's a great testament to the power of social media.
For sure. Have you made any mistakes, or have there been any failures in your business journey that you kind of regret, and what has been the lesson learned for you, and what can other entrepreneurs learn from your mistakes?
Sure. We make mistakes every day. We haven't made any huge mistakes that we haven't been able to bounce back from. But there's ups and downs. I've said to my wife millions of times, I don't even know how many times I've said it, this is like a roller coaster ride. And Sushant, life is a roller coaster ride, let alone trying to scale a business and grow a business from scratch. There's opportunities for learning and growth at any moment, whether it's a mistake or whether it's a success. You can never get too high and you can never get too low. I've learned, let's say I have no problem admitting a mistake. Let's say I put the wrong order in a box and I ship it, right? Instead of having 2 bars of original, I put in 2 bars of citrus, for example, right? It's an honest mistake. It happens. There's a rush of business and I'm trying to fill orders. Somebody who's very smart told me, this isn't a time to go fast. This is a time to do things right? So don't focus on speed, focus on accuracy. But again, things happen, things fall through the cracks. A mistake is made. It's an opportunity to own up to it and to turn it into a learning moment for me, but also a moment for a customer to realize, hey, this is a real person. He's willing to go above and beyond and fix the mistake immediately, even if it costs us money. I'll ship out another order. Keep the wrong products. I'm going to ship you out the right order today. Sorry for my mistake. Admit it. Some people will tell you, maybe in a business as a CEO, you shouldn't admit mistakes or you shouldn't apologize because it shows weakness. I don't believe in that. Like, we're all humans. We're all the same. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter who we are, what role we have in the world, what job we have. We're all people, right? We all hurt. We all feel the same at the end of a long day. So if it helps a customer to feel better, to see the CEO or the founder of the company say, hey, I'm sorry, it's an honest mistake. Let me fix it for you. I feel comfortable doing that. I don't feel like I need to pretend to be perfect or infallible. It's just not my nature. It's not my personality. So
Yeah, I mean that's, mistakes is a part of entrepreneurship and life, as you said. Now I'm going to move on to our
yeah.
rapid fire segment. In this segment, I'm going to ask you a few quick questions, and you have to answer them maybe in one word or a sentence or so. So the first one is
Okay.
one book recommendation for entrepreneurs and why?
I would say that there's so many good ones. The 4-Day Work Week.
Okay. Uh, an innovative product or idea in the current e-commerce, retail, or tech landscape that you feel
Oh,
excited about?
you broke up a little bit there. Could you just repeat the question? I'm sorry.
An innovative product or idea that you feel excited about?
An innovative product or idea that I feel excited about. Um,
Anything that you
Cost plus
use?
drugs. Yeah. Well, I'm excited about Mark Cuban's cost plus drugs initiative. I've been through a lot of health issues. I know this is rapid fire, but getting getting the right prescription medication into the hands of the people who need it for an affordable price is important to me. It's important to Mark, and it's important to the world. So,
A business or productivity tool or software that you would recommend or a productivity tip?
productivity tip for me, I like writing things down on post-it notes. I know it goes against the tech angle. I don't use Slack. I don't use too many calendar programs. I'm old school. I write things down on a post-it note, stick it next to my computer, and I make sure I read those and I follow those every day. And when I cross it off, it makes me feel accomplished. It makes me feel like I can move on to the next thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've tried a lot of apps, and I find that writing down is still a good thing because it's right there in front of
Yep.
your eyes, right? So,
And it's
um,
visceral. When I write it down, I'll
yeah,
remember it more than putting it into an app. That's just for me, but
very true, very true. Another startup or business that you think is currently doing great things.
another startup or business that I think is doing great things. Hmm. Um, that's a tough one. I'm stumped. There's so many. I, the one that comes to mind is another Shark Tank company. It's called Gently Soap, um, and it appeared a couple of months earlier than our episode. But she's making all natural, amazing bar soaps that help eczema. If you've ever suffered from any skin issues like psoriasis or eczema, it's really annoying, and she's solving it with a great commodity in her all natural soap. So Gently Soaps is a great other startup Shark Tank company, and I'm really happy to see her success.
Awesome. Um, an entrepreneur or business person whom you look up to or someone who inspires you? I know you already said Mark Cuban. Is that your answer or someone else?
I'm gonna go with Mark Cuban on that one.
Okay, okay. Final question. What is the best business advice that you have ever received or you would give to other entrepreneurs?
The best business advice that I've ever received, and I would feel good giving to any other entrepreneur,
Yeah.
is from my mom. It's the simple golden rule, Sushant. It transcends everything for me. Treat people the way I want to be treated, not the way you treat me, not the way I've been treated before, but the way I want to be treated. My mother taught me that at such a young age, and it's served me well my entire life in business, on the field, in the classroom, in life. That's the ultimate golden rule for me.
No, that's really great, for sure. Um, well, those were all the questions that I had today. And David, thank you so much again for sharing your story, for sharing, your business lessons, successes, some lessons learned. If anybody wants to try out your product, what is the best way they can do that? I think you muted yourself. Sorry.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yes.
Can
All
we
good, all
edit?
good.
Can we edit that out? Will we be able to edit some of that out, I hope?
Yeah, no worries, don't worry.
Okay.
It's all
So
good, it happens.
repeat that question, please, sir.
No, I was saying if anybody wants to get in touch, try out your product, what is the best way they can do that?
Go to sorsoap.com. That's SORSOAP.com. And you'll be able to see all of our products there and learn a little bit more about what we're doing and see if it's the right solution for you to treat yourself in the shower.
Awesome. Well, David, thank you so much again. Really appreciate your time today. And thank you so much for sharing your story and wish you all the very best.
Thank you so much, Sushant. This has been enjoyable and I appreciate being a part of it.
Thank you.